What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Climb. I am X-Ray once again. Joining me this week is Venom. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Another day, beautiful day on the Climb, and it's a special episode. We got our special guest this week, someone who we've been waiting to have on the Climb. You know, we've seen him a couple times in the Climb on the previous season, but the Echo Man himself is once again joining us. The man, the myth, the absolute fucking legend himself, Josepi. How you doing, sir?
Yo, I didn't know we could say fuck on the climb. That's hype. No, yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. Obviously, I've been on the ascent before. It's always a good time. And I'm glad that Patrick is here too, Mr. Venom. This is a great trio. We're gonna have an excellent podcast.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in forever. I actually think it was season finale of season 1 of the Climb. So, like, what you been up to, man? Like, how's life? How's surviving?
Yeah, man, I've been losing. I've been in 10th place for the past 3 months. That's most of what I've been doing. Other than that, I moved across the country. I don't live in Boise anymore, which is kind of sad because, we can't hang out. But this is a good opportunity to advertise the Summit meetup August 10th, Saturday.
Oh,
I'll be back. I think.
A meetup?
Yeah, Gamer Destroyer is coming. I think Brissy is coming. Sloth is coming.
Oh man,
Logic was talking about coming. It's gonna be a fiesta.
Bro, I need to go.
Patrick is not gonna be there though. He has to go to a wedding.
I'm going to. I've known the guy since we were like 8. I can't miss his wedding.
All right. Well, anyways,
fair enough.
Summit meetup minus Patrick.
Summit meetup minus Patrick. But let's head into the Climb for season 8. The second to last week has officially finished. And yeah, we have a lot of really good games this week. There were a lot of really good games. There was only one 2-0 this week, but every other game was a 2-1. So starting off, Crayola Consumers versus SMD. This is the two or one of the pairs. I actually messaged Sopan and he said and I asked for the copies or like who were like devil or the matching, and it's not Crayola Consumers and SMD. I thought that was it, but I was wrong.
No, it's Crayola Consumers and Fraud Watch, which doesn't make any sense, but he's got to do it for the meme.
I think you two were just like those two teams were just like the outliers, but everyone else has like a copy. But it was a really close series. Game 1 we saw Ribbon Player play the Mundo, kind of like drop his ego. But then, like, Game 2, I think, is when SMD kind of fumbled the bag, I think. They picked a lot of ego picks, which Game 1, it was the Gwen, pick 3 or something like that. The Gwen, and then they picked Belveth, which, I can understand, but I think you're just going 2 ego picks, especially with the team you're going against. So Cradle Consumers just had a really good answer into both comps. And then Game 3, I'm going to call out So Much Dog here. The Kazakhs picks I definitely did not like. I think that's way too ego. And then the Kale pick was, I don't think that was it.
And
then Owen and Distance,
if I could,
good series as well.
Yeah, just something you just said. Yeah, so I don't think the Kazakhs is like an ego pick necessarily. However, I do agree, X-Ray. I do not think Kazakhs is a good pick in competitive league. I think it's very rarely functional. Casey shit on us with it, but we suck. So beating Fraud Watch on a pick does not validate its legitimacy. But yeah, that Kale R5, man. Oh, that was so puzzling. I don't know. I don't want to harp on it too much because obviously it's a tough situation.
We didn't even get to see Game 3 because of the spectator bug. So, the teams, what they did is they picked, or the top lane wise, is like they picked whoever picked a tank won the series or won the game, and I was like, okay, cool. It's just a tank series. So I mean, looking at these last two, or sorry, Venom, do you have any thoughts on this game?
Um, I think game two was rough. I think I remember watching part of this. I think I watched game one. SMD, that like you said, the Mundo was good. Owen, Owen had a good series, but I don't even think it was like an Owen like obviously game two and three I don't remember that much, but Owen he went 5-1-14, which is obviously a very good scoreline. Riven Player went 1-8.
Mm.
Game three, Owen went 1-2-12 on Udyr. So like Owen didn't even have the most insane series. The person that popped off the most was Charles. Like
Yeah.
Charles game one at the Cassidy versus Trist. I'm pretty sure is Trist
Yeah,
favored.
I mean, well,
Um,
doesn't.
but like outside of that, he went 19-2
Mhm.
and 12-4 in game two and three. Charles egoed the hell out of them and beat Foster's ass in those games. And game two, he just walked around as Action and just was killing everybody.
Mhm.
I think Charles is the difference maker. If Charles has good games, Crayola Consumers is probably unbeatable, or not unbeatable, but they're extremely hard to beat if Charles is like
Mhm.
on a champ like Action. If it wasn't evident last year, he had Action was pick or ban almost every game, and every single game he got Action, he got at least 3 solo kills in lane
Mhm.
against everybody. So, and I think Red and BBW Slammer game three also get a shout out.
Yes,
They did good
exactly.
in three.
Such an underrated performance.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know. I don't really think we can like flame RP3 or so much dog
Right.
or even Foster, because low key like this bot lane for SMD should stomp. Like if you do not
Yeah.
stomp Red Ranger and BBW Slammer as like former Masters 80 carry and Emerald 480C, it's tough. It's just hard for your team to win because of the way that the draft works. Like if you
Yeah.
don't beat the double Emerald bot lane as an elo stacked lane, then it's just really really difficult because now you're facing the best top laner in the league, and he's not coming out of lane against a strong AD carry, which is really rough. I don't know. I don't know why they played Aphelios, to be honest. I feel like you should play something that wins lane. Like Aphelios Janna is basically guaranteeing that Owen gets to the late game. I don't know. I mean, I've tried to play Aphelios into Owen several times and I lost every time. I don't really know what the tech is to beat this guy. But I don't know. I think honestly, SMD will bounce back. I think like once Gamer Destroyer and Nico figure it out, this team is upset watch in playoffs for sure. Like
Yeah.
once they figure out how to lane together and Nico gets 80 carry back under his hands, they'll be a lot scarier.
Yeah. I also like calling on more aggressive supports. Like I've seen his Vel'Koz, and his Vel'Koz is pretty good. I don't think it enables him to play as aggressive when he's playing something like Bard, where I
Mhm.
know it's kind of a meme, but like when like as well as the Maokai and stuff, like stuff that has hard CC that Colin can like go in and like play the lane, like fight 2v2, like Joe said, Janna Aphelios, like are you really gonna kill Misfortune Maokai early? It's
Yeah, if
like
anything, the Aphelios just dies to flash root. You know, it's
yeah.
like at best you come out of this lane as a farm lane, like slightly even.
I did like his Zyra. I did like Colin's Zyra though. I want to like usually the only Zyra player in Summit for a while was Shmee. Shmee's not playing this year, so
Mhm.
but I think the Zyra was solid. I think he needs stuff with hard CC like that. That he can like play to get catches and stuff like that. Play aggressive in the lane.
Yeah, they should honestly maybe just be picking Caitlyn every single game against lower elo bot lanes.
Yeah,
Like
like
that champ
Caitlyn
is so
Karma.
oppressive.
Like
Yeah, if
like
you
like
understand
Caitlyn
trade
Karma.
patterns, bro, Caitlyn is so OP.
Yep.
Especially if you're playing against
Yeah.
people like me that don't understand trade patterns. That shit is a free win, bro.
True.
Yeah. So going back to game one, honestly, like CC just got draft diffed. Honestly, the Cassidon first pick was not it,
Well, they
and
first
then
picked that.
yeah, they first picked Cassidon. So I casted the
That's an
game. So
ego pick.
so they first picked Cassidon, and then they picked Jax and then Swain. So you basically just have three scaling lanes. And so they just countered with the Tristana, and then they picked I believe Rengar and then Mundo. Or I think they picked Mundo last. I can't remember the draft.
I just
specifically.
want a Red Ranger to play something other than Swain. Like it worked well last season, but please play an AD. Like you hard crushed as Misfortune Maokai. Like I've played with Red Ranger before. Joe's played on the same team. Like Red Ranger on certain champs and comps is a solid secondary or a tertiary carry. Like he's never like he doesn't need to be the top one. Like he has Owen and Charles to do 1-2 in damage. But if he's a consistent third on the ADC, like he doesn't have to win lane. He doesn't, but he can also do more damage as AD. That it
Mhm.
also opens up Owen and Charles to play different styles. Like
Yeah.
obviously Charles plays a lot of AD mid, so that might be why they're playing Swain. So they have an AP
Mhm.
carry bot and AD mid, and then Owen can play whatever Owen wants.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents.
No, that's fair. But like we said, this is week 8, second to last week. So let's look at both of these teams' week 9 games. So first off, CC's playing Elend's Entourage. So I mean,
Good series.
it's going to be a good series. I think this one, I can see this going 2 games, but I can also see it going to all 3 games. But I think most likely it's going to go to all 3 games. Is kind of like my prediction right now. And then finally, SMD. SMD play Gawr's kindergarten class, so that one I don't think I'm
It's
not
be
very
rough for Foster.
I'm not very optimistic for SMD to win this series. So I mean
It's tough matchup for him.
I mean the plus side, I mean they're sitting at 8th. Announcement. Everyone is locked for playoffs. TKT lost their series, so everyone
What
is
about Fraud Watch?
um
No
What about
frauds
that?
detected, bro. Not
They
a
still have
single
a chance.
fraud.
Actually, they still have a chance. They still have a chance. I swear.
they Fraud Watch was well eliminated forever ago, probably in week 7. I'm like pretty sure. So I'm sorry, Josepi, but your team was eliminated a while ago. I just didn't mention it.
It's okay.
Um,
No, I wasn't sure. I thought we were still in it. So
so yeah,
Same.
it's gonna come down to standings now. It's whoever takes the wins this week is gosh, words are hard. Gosh, long day at work and we're recording the climb. But
Polishing
yeah,
the stone.
yeah, polishing the stone. So yeah, I mean it's gonna just come down to the remaining games, and we're gonna see how seeding goes. But yeah, Gawr's kindergarten class. I'm not feeling very optimistic for SMD in this series.
That's
So,
tough for him.
it's winnable. I don't know. Peak Diamond 3 needs to pop off. I mean, RP3 needs to pop
Diamond
off.
3.
RP3,
Which
like,
he can.
yeah, he has a
He
lot of
can.
counters to Brissy's top pool. Like Brissy plays Ornn, he like unless they have to ban Gwen.
Just
They
ban Poppy, bro.
Trundle. Yeah.
Just ban Poppy, I
Hey,
think. Or
Brissy's
play Trundle into it.
Yeah.
I
RP3's got a lot of good picks into Brissy's stuff,
listen.
and they know each other.
Listen, Brissy,
RP3's
Brissy's
pretty
cooking
ready.
some stuff. He's not the solo Bolo King for nothing.
Oh, I know. Hey, Brissy's good.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
Brissy's
Brissy's
underrated for his
solid.
rank.
yeah. But let's move on to game 2 for week. I said week 7, week 8. Roblins Goblins versus GKC, and this one, I would say this is game of the week. This is game of the week. I mean,
This troll series of the week, I'll say that.
I mean, it was a back and forth match each game. It was like people were getting kills. Rob and Dean though, this was a spicy bot lane. I don't know if anyone knows, but they did fearless draft for this series, so you don't see any of the same 2 picks in either of the games, or any of the games, I should say, three games. But yes, very spicy bots. So like what? Game 1 was Rumble Ash, and then game 2 was what
Jinx
was?
Draven?
Yeah, it
Something
was Jinx.
Draven.
Yeah, it was
it was
no
Jinx.
Kog'Maw Draven.
Oh, Kog'Maw Draven.
It was
Yeah,
Kog'Maw
the Draven
Draven,
support.
and then it was Riven and
I guess I could just pull up the series.
yeah, I'm trying to think of the last who was the
Nyla.
Oh
It
yeah,
was Neela Riven into
yeah.
Sivir Lulu.
Sivir, yeah,
So
Sivir.
I mean,
The
a
boringest
lot
lane
of
ever, Sivir
spicy bot
Lulu.
lanes coming out from the side of Roblins Goblins, and I'm gonna be honest. I think GKC actually could have won this series. I think it really came down to Game 3 poor execution. There were a lot of bad fights and a lot of bad like times they got picked, bad positioning. I honestly think GKC could have won this game, but Roblins Goblins took full advantage and had a really strong series. I mean, I don't really have anyone specific to shout out this game. I think everyone had played phenomenally well this series. Um,
Yeah. Ryan Lilia was huge in game 3. I mean, that's kind of honestly like the one champ you don't want to see him on, I feel like, is Lilia and Talia. At least in my experience. Yeah, he did the most damage in the game. Oh, just kidding. No, he didn't. Never saw did. He did the most damage on his team, though.
Yep. Yeah, Ryan, I think recently Ryan has not been performing to the best of his ability, but like I think like this series was a really big turning point for Roblins Goblins because I think they've lost the last couple weeks.
I think they lost one. Did they lose 2 weeks in
No,
a
they
row?
lost two. They did lose 2 weeks in a row. They lost to Beaver Brigade and then lost to Crayola Consumers. So, but this one does get them back on track. Robbins Goblins sitting at 17 points.
Wait, I would like to say I wouldn't really count the Crayola consumers. They had Array playing support. I'm pretty sure for that series instead of
Yeah.
Dean.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like I
Sorry.
don't put much stock in because like if
That's
Dean
right.
and Rob are playing bot lane, that game's probably different.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
no
I
offense to
forgot.
Array, but
Shout
Array
out
off
Array.
rolling, yeah,
Yeah.
Array off rolling support versus a challenger like best, probably the best individual, one of the best individual players in Summit right now.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's not comparable, but
Yeah.
they
I
were
mean,
Yeah.
sliding.
Robbins Goblins really good showing. GKC though, like I said, I just think I think they would have won this series. I think it was just really poor execution in Game 3, really bad.
I think they were just getting out. I think Heiko should not be playing Sivir Lulu bot against Dean and Rob.
Yeah, that's
Because Heiko plays aggressive and he's gonna put himself on the most cuck lane in the game. Like, bro,
yeah.
what? Like, I watched him walk up to lane, get fucking flash rivet W'd and die, and like just walk up and like Heiko needs to play aggressive stuff. Like,
Mhm.
what? No, like even Janna Jin is okay, but like
I mean,
play Lucian. But like the game one, Heiko played it well, but let's be honest, Rob and Dean were kind of going on an adventure in the bot lane. They inted 3 tower dives. They gave 6 kills to Heiko within like 6 minutes because they kept trying to proxy them between waves, and the enemy jungle just showed up, and
that was
Gawr
a
was
fun
there, and they just
series. It was such a
yeah,
fun
it's like, and
series.
Heiko, he continued the lead, but
Mhm.
like I think Roblins Goblins probably should have 2-0'd this. It like with how bad Rob and Dean were crushing bot lane like before they started the random dives. Rob was up
Mhm.
like 30, he was up like 40 to 10 CS in like 4 minutes. Like
Hmm.
it was like Rob and Dean were crushing that lane.
Hmm.
Like the Rumble was chunking out Heiko and Sausage Sauce, and then they
Oh
towered
yeah.
over 3 times pre-6 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Heiko came back to lane with full Zerker's Greaves after the first dive, even though he was down 30, like 20 CS, 30
Yeah.
CS. But I do think GKC played well game
Mhm.
one. I think, or who won? Yeah, they won game one, and then
No. Yes, they won Game 1.
GKC, and then, dude, they lost the game that Ryan went 1-11 on bot. Ryan said
Listen,
afterwards, "I was just there to die so they didn't hit Rob." He went 1-11-6.
listen. The
Like,
Draven and Kog'Maw went kind of hard. I mean, like, what? I'm pretty. Yeah, everyone. I think what 369. Yeah. So everyone
and she
combined,
fine.
like the solo lanes, and then Rob died less combined than Ryan. If you put Big Dummy, then they pass him in deaths.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but
I don't think we could put much stock into this series for Roblins Goblins, other than like they can win by troll like while they're not playing like
Yeah.
their mesh.
yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I think I read something that like they've been locked. Well, once they locked playoffs, they're kind of just not trolling, but they're kind of just playing for fun stuff.
Mm,
Like at least bot lane. Like
interesting.
like I and they're still winning, which is how good their bot lane is compared to everybody else. Is that they're playing different shit because they're bored and want to and are playing for fun until playoffs, and
Uh-huh.
they're still crushing bot lanes that
Mm.
are like considered like top 4 bot lanes with Heiko
Yeah.
and
And
Sausage
and
Ross.
yeah, you can't knock my boy Asuna. Shouldn't have given him his
Bro,
TF. Massive mid gap there
hey,
in
his
game
Yeah.
TF's
2.
crazy.
The TF.
Mid canyon.
Hey,
There's
Asuna's
also gonna
playing
have some
up
hot takes
to a
after
good
that.
level. He's
Yeah,
playing
I
up to a good
know.
level.
But
His
yeah.
list is
Yeah.
not. His list was not it though,
Oh no, it was not.
but that
But
game had other issues like
there was
16
there
and
was a
5 Zeri.
there was a lot of issues. But let's actually take a look at these two remaining schedules. GKC we'll just cover over real quick. We just did. But GKC I think is very favored in this matchup. I mean,
Who they playing?
SMD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be SMD. I think is gonna have to fight for it. But I think this is gonna be a 2-0 for GKC. And Roblins Goblins is playing the Bendables. So I don't.
I that might that might be a troll series because the Bendables are kind of locked into where they're at too, and I foresee them having a little bit of fun. Um,
Yeah.
Not
Because
trolling, but just some nice good old fashioned
just out of
fun.
Limit
curiosity,
testing.
Yeah.
how many series has the Bendables won? So they've only
I don't know.
won 4 series. So they're four
They've
for
been in
four.
most of them.
Yeah.
They've been in most of them though, like pretty
Yeah, but
close.
yeah, they've gotten a point from almost every series. Um, besides 2. There's 2 series where they did not get at least 1 point.
I think it
So
was the academy. You guys were one of
yep,
them, right?
the
You two wrote them.
Academy and Elend's Entourage. So I'm gonna be honest. I think this is gonna be another one where they probably don't get points. That's kind of like my prediction right now. But who
Bro.
knows?
We'll see.
Who
Yeah.
Papa's
knows?
about to go
Honestly,
like jungle about to go like jungle or jungle Nidalee and pop off or something.
Right.
Like that series is like there's gonna be almost no stock you can put into that for playoffs.
Right. Yeah. I
Like I don't
mean.
think they're gonna full troll, but we'll get to it later what the Bendables did in this series, like
Yeah. Yeah.
the one they just played.
Yeah. We'll cover that here in a second. But yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I see Roblins Goblins 2-0ing this one and
I
possibly
can see
securing
it.
first. They're sitting at
They
72
can't.
points. No, they technically
Oh,
can.
unless you guys unless mid too easy falls off his keyboard, or falls out of his chair, breaks his arm, like, and you guys lose to the Krusty Trap, like,
Yeah.
or
So
like,
there's
like, no offense to Krusty Trap, Silva and Garrett have been playing great, and OT
so
Gator's great, but like, come
and
on, mid too easy, about
technically
to crush.
technically GKC can also get first. But I also
Can
don't
they?
see that one being very likely either. Um,
Don't you guys have the head-to-head over GKC?
nope. Roblins Goblins and GKC actually have the head to the Academy. So
Really?
yep.
I thought you guys
Ooh.
won both those.
Nope.
Be a fraud of me. Damn, sounds
Well,
like you
'cause-
guys are third
'cause-
place
so-
at best.
So the GKC game we didn't
You
have
guys
mid too
did.
easy. So
That's right. You had Cisco, yeah.
yeah. So we
Hey,
didn't.
Cisco's serviceable. I love
Cisco,
Cisco.
my boy, bro.
Hey,
And then Roblins
Tuna's
Goblins game.
finest.
Roblins Goblins game. I think it was just really early in the season, and so I think we just misperformed that series.
Rob
But
just
Also,
clapped
I
him.
don't. I think like strong bot lane matchups are hard for your guys' team. Like I don't
Rob-
think you should take TKT lightly. Honestly, I think that's kind of a scary matchup for you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, you probably just like mid diff them, but
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll cover that series here in a
Ban Thresh,
second.
bro.
But let's
Nah.
move on to our third series of Week 8. Beaver Brigade versus Elend's Entourage. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of good games this week. Everything was 3 games besides one. And BB taking I don't know why, but Beaver Brigade likes to lose game 1, but then come back in game 2 and 3 and just absolutely stomp for some reason.
Yeah, I could tell you why that is.
All right.
It's because once Thim and Jason start yelling at each other, their powers increase. Their chakra starts to expand the madder they get at each other, and then they start winning. That's
Jason
the honest
whips
truth.
them into. It's because Jason whips them into shape. Game 2 and 3.
Bro, Thim is definitely cracking the whip. Jason, shut the fuck
up, dude. No, every time I see them, I always think I'm like, okay, they lose game 1, they're gonna tilt game 2 and 3. They play better. I've never seen a team play better while yelling at each other and calling each other shitters and saying I have the worst ADC on my team, and then winning games. Like, Jason has it down to a fucking art. He says, my AD's crap, fuck him, he's awful. Has the notepad up, they win game 2 and 3. Not a chance they lose.
I know.
It's also crazy because I feel like in every single the first game of the series, they always seem to weak side bot. I don't know if this is like an actual like data supported trend, but I feel like Jason always weak sides the hell out of Thim. And then like tilts him, and then Thim starts playing good.
I mean, when you
got teachable lesson game 1.
Yeah, when you got Dunk on your team, who wouldn't want a weak side bot lane?
Yeah, true. Also, I mean, they picked Rek'Sai top in this game that they lost.
Wait, did they actually?
Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. I will defend this. Rek'Sai top is actually like becoming meta right now. Like it's a really strong pick. You basically can never die. Like, you have infinite sustain because of,
well,
like...
Dunk died 5 times, so...
That is true. I'm pretty sure it was team fights, but... Who knows?
That's right, team diff. X-Ray knows a lot about that. Team diff.
No.
This team overcooked.
No.
Yeah,
never.
I am surprised that Elend's Entourage lost game 2, though. Looking at the score lines, like, jeez.
Yeah,
that was the Olaf game.
Yeah, I mean...
See, I didn't get to watch that series because I think there was another one going on, or I was busy doing something.
Dude, honestly, like if Flash of Night just I love Ben, but if he just doesn't like int to the back line and instead hits Olaf, they win the game. in that team fight where Olaf basically like 1v4'd. Because he was really strong. Ari was very, very strong. He ended up
that was true. I actually remember
damage.
that fight. Yeah, Olaf just kind of goes like he's just so strong. Like, the problem is with game 2 is Elend's Entourage doesn't have a whole lot of tools to like really deal with Olaf is the problem, and so in that
what
fight,
are the tools to deal with Olaf, bro? That fool presses R. He just either you stat check him or you don't. Like they built.
All you do is heal cut and pray that your
exactly.
DPS
Shield
kills
cut
them.
And whatever the shield break item is called, Serpent's Fang.
Yeah,
and they had both of those.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I mean, in that fight that you're talking about where Olaf just goes in, I saw the clip and it was like, I was like, huh? The Olaf this is, by the way, this is like a 2v5, I think, or 2v or a 3v5 or
2v4,
something.
yeah, because Flash and I was dead.
Yeah, so no, because he was ulting in the back line, remember?
Yeah, he died subsequently.
Oh, okay.
He ulted and then immediately died. So he did not hit the Olaf.
Yeah, so the Olaf just pops R and just runs into the back line. And I think it was just Thim that was up. And so Thim is just shooting rockets as everyone's just trying to kill this Olaf that is just not dying because he just heals so much and has a big shield. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that shit was not interactive at all. It was honestly insane to watch. But it's like... It just goes to show, like Pyrosis says this, playing the game is a lot easier when you have more gold than everyone else. It really doesn't matter how good you are or how well you execute if you could just stat check people, and that's kind of the whole Olaf identity. And when you're Dunk and you play the micro of the lane consistently very well, a champion like Olaf is very formidable. It's the same for Owen. It's the reason it gets banned against him, or it has historically. And then he just stat checked them and they won the game off it. And then they turned the series at that point. Thim and Jason were about to strangle each other and they won.
Yeah.
The Mordekaiser went.
They're like
hard.
They're like mid like grabbing their throats and they're like, "Oh, we won. Hey, good game, man."
I wouldn't be surprised there's a notepad that said trade me. Or I think his title for this series was literally trade me. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure his title was like BB versus Elend's Entourage. Please trade me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
nah,
Yeah.
their dynamic is so funny to watch Jason stream. Like I want it's so funny. It's great.
and
Great television.
and I'm gonna be honest, EE I think right now is just not in a good place. So they did swap supports, but I don't think I think they beat Fraud Watch, but they lost to the Academy, and Beaver Brigade now, and now they play Crayola Consumer. So I'm gonna be honest.
Wait, didn't they play you guys with Sparks at support?
That is right. Wait, I'm pretty sure.
Bro's trying to be like, we crushed their bot lane. Bro had Sparks
Wait.
off rolling on like Janna.
They have Vince for this?
No offense,
I don't know.
Sparks is great. I love Sparks.
I
but,
know
like,
that
he's not a
Vince played
support.
his first series
Oh,
against
was
Fraud
it-
Watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I was like, I'm pretty sure Sparks played against because I think I remember PPP said he wanted to beat Sparks in lane.
yeah, I mean, I will say Vince played really good this series. I think he only.
His thresh is insane.
Yeah,
I think
like-
Vince is very good. Yeah.
They just need to
he
meld
died four
together.
times between game 1 and 2, and then died 4 times in game 3. So I mean, Vince was playing absolutely cracked. I think it was just a lot of just poor team fights, and just poor execution
Yeah.
overall.
And the thing is, Paul will watch that and he'll figure it. Like
Yeah.
they have such smart the players on that team, like their game knowledge with like Paul, Array, and I'm sure I don't know Vince, but I'm sure he does as well. Even Injustice in terms of what went wrong topside, like they all think of like they know about the game. Like and I'm sure
Yeah.
Paul Vod reviewed it right after, probably with other people
I
or
took
with
a
Array
screenshot.
and figured it out.
I took a screenshot. Yeah, they were all still in there. I think they were just talking about the game. I don't think they were I don't think
Yeah, so I
Paul
think
was VOD reviewing, but they were I'm pretty sure they were talking about the game because they were in that lobby for a while. So,
Yeah, it was Sparks that played against you guys, by the way, X-Ray.
yeah, that's why I was pretty sure. But let's look at this remaining schedule for both these teams. So Elend's Entourage playing CC. I mean, it's gonna come. I think it's honestly gonna come down to mid lane and top lane. I think bot lane is more Elend's Entourage favored, and jungle I would say Soulpan.
More.
Yeah.
It is like extremely one-sided ball. No offense to Red Ranger and
Dude, yeah, I mean,
I'd
if
be
anyone
like,
is in
what?
support of Red Ranger, it's me and Patrick. But
yeah, like
yeah, I mean,
well, he's the homie, but like no offense, you're playing against probably the second best bot lane this season.
yeah,
Like
honestly,
in terms
yeah, I
of
mean,
Vincent Array, like Array's
Yeah.
Array is fucking cracked. Like it's an understatement to say it's a little one set. Like it is very much tipped on like it's a
Right.
battle of who wins, bot lane or top. Same last season when DPT when it was me and Rob versus was it Colin and John Eldaho. It's like it
Yeah.
was how bad can we beat their bot lane before Owen crushes Brissy? Like it's the same type of matchup, which is a lot of
yeah, no,
like,
it's facts.
and we won 2-1. Like you can win with the bot lane strat, you just have to play it right. And I think Injustice can survive long enough against Owen and has a good mental that he won't tilt off the planet when playing against Owen. So I think it's it'll be a good series.
I think in that series, what's honestly most important is mid lane. I think Flash of Night actually tends to do worse into players who fight him. And Odysseus is like the ultimate coin flipper. Like that guy just farms champions, and he plays a lot of stuff that wins in the 1v1. And I think Flash, like if you give him his ear, RE, whatever, you let him scale, and he'll when he's maybe skirmishing 2v2 with Soulpan, I think that's more favorable for their team. But someone like Odysseus that's really, really volatile is really concerning because if mid lane breaks open, then EE has no hope. Because, Injustice will obviously try to hold. But the reality of playing against Owen, like this guy is a robot, Like you watch, he's like legit like Owen.ai. He doesn't really make mistakes. And so eventually he's going to steamroll the game if you give him enough time and enough freedom. And the key for Elend's Entourage to prevent that from happening, I think, is to shut down mid. The thing about
That's
playing
hard.
against teams that weak side bot is you can't really, really win You can get like a kill or two and beat up plates maybe, or you can freeze the wave on them. Like when we played against the academy, like Strand kind of just sat under tower while PPP roamed, which was an effective strategy. Obviously, you guys won the series, and that's exactly what Red Ranger is going to do, and they're fine doing this. And so for Array and Vince, you have to be very, very creative about how you get your gold. And this is kind of what Rob did really, really well in the early seasons of La Liga when he would pick Twitch and run in cheese. And I think the challenge will be getting more than like 2 plates and 2 kills on Array and shutting down mid. I think top, you pretty much just leave it alone. You don't contest grubs. You only play for Drake. You just avoid Owen at all costs. This is pretty much what Mystic Ninja Cyclones did in the finals against Goofy Gophers, the previous team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the tech. I think Elend's Entourage can do it, which is why I actually picked them in the predictions. But I could very easily see this going the way of CC.
Yeah,
I just want to.
This one's a coin flip, honestly.
Dude, Charles, I'll say this and Charles knows this because we called him this all last season. He is the biggest ego player, and I fucking love it. Bro will say, I'm feeling A-Soul today. Bro, when was the last time you played A-Soul? A couple weeks ago. Pulls it out in Summit and randomly gets kills, right? In a scrim gets kills. Like, Charles is the biggest ego player, and I love it. It's the most entertaining mid laner to watch, I feel like. Like, yeah, mid too easy never saw are probably better than him, like as a whole, like as a mid laner.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure Charles got solo kills on both of them. Not like a bunch, but he will fight you and he will make the mid lane fun. Like Joe said, like he will coin flip that mid lane, and if it hits, like if he loses 10 times in a row, he'll take that. Cause then he'll come back, he'll get the shutdown, and he's still relevant most games, especially with Owen. Like Owen's soaking pressure, so Charles doesn't have to soak every single gank. Like, it'll be fun. Love watching Odysseus or Charles play mid, especially if he's on like Action or Zed. Super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm interested to see the strategy that EE will take. I know. So when CBC last season were playing against Goofy Gophers in playoffs, I think David, our captain at the time, talked to Sulpan about like strategy options, and I think the primary schools of thought that we agreed upon were that you could either try to giga scale or you can dive. And I think what has been proven is that scaling is ineffective. I think trying to scale into Owen is generally not good because of his macro knowledge. It's not something that obviously is really apparent when you're watching the game, especially if you're like a fucking casual like me. But going against this guy later in the game, it's just really, really hard to move around the map. He just has so much experience moving his players around the map, so much experience in comp. And regardless of whether you get your Aphelios to 6 items or not, it doesn't really change the fact that you still need to control the map. Like, you don't get the best fight possible if your macro is subpar. And I think, they should just draft dive or something of that nature. Something that wins early and not let him play the game.
I think Array should talk to Rob. Array should talk to Rob because Rob somehow, we did it last year, regular season, and Rob took a lot of fucking Silas stealing Brissy's Malphite ult, ulting Rob with flash EQ ults from Jarvan over and over again every fight, and we still found a way to win the series. So I agree with Joe. Like, Giga scale is very difficult unless you have somebody like Rob, like an insane 80 like Rob, where he understands how to do that, and also Rob's macro knowledge is insane too.
And even then, I wouldn't even say that you guys won because you scaled. I feel like you won because you stomped.
Yeah,
like you stomped bot. It's not like you're going to 55 minutes and you're out team fighting them. Like, you just roll over the game because you move your Caitlyn around the map. You take every single outer tower. And it really doesn't matter how strong the enemy Trundle is, because your Caitlyn is going to load a headshot and RFC him for half of his health. Like, this is what I think the tech is.
Shout out Gabe getting one shot by Rob mid game and throwing their lead and giving us that series win. Shout out.
Hey, bro. Shout out to Gabe, man. I hope that kid's doing okay. I haven't heard from him in a while.
But
anyways,
yeah. Very, very, very clean assessment by my two co-hosts here. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll
let's move.
see.
We'll move on to our next series, TKT versus the Bendables. Asteria subs. Silva was not here for TKT, but still pretty close series. This was a pretty important series for. Why are you laughing?
I played top and
Pat.
that 4-8 on Renekton. This series has no implication at all. Pipe literally played top because
Well,
they
so
already locked in
yeah,
their
so
spot. They
as soon
didn't
as the
care.
Bendables win game 1, they kind of trolled, but I mean, they were having
Hey, his
they were having a
Dandy's
good time.
Kiana is crazy. Dandy's Kiana is crazy. I will like
I
that
didn't get
is
to
like
see this series,
his
so
best mid lane. I didn't watch it either, but I talked to Pai about it this morning because I was doing solo or bolo stuff, and I go Pai, did you actually play Renekton to go 4-8 top lane, or are my eyes deceiving me?
I like
And
how he
he
did
did
the
in
most
fact
damage
play
on
that.
his team still.
Yeah, because he's Pai. He does most
Well,
damage no matter where he
he's
plays.
also playing into Mundo, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no,
So
I think this series was a meme. After game 1, it was an entire meme, bro. Like,
yeah,
I mean, game 3. I mean, even though obviously Paris is top, it was definitely winnable for the Bendables. Gator was really strong,
uh-huh.
and Asteria obviously is really competent in the late game. But yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
Kiana man.
Dude,
Dandy's Kiana is absolutely cracked. Like, I'm pretty sure, was it La Liga, or no, season 1, I'm pretty sure it was like almost perma-banned against. I think he was on your team, Joe, that you subbed in for.
Oh yeah, GYG. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was banned very frequently. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every game we played against you guys, we banned Kiana and like Fizz because
Yep. Yeah, it's Fizz as
Kiana's
well.
his
Dude, that
Kiana's
was the
just
Dandy era.
insane.
the
That guy was
Dandy era.
actually
He's
backpacking.
cracked.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Dandy's
I
solid.
like
That's
that.
why I think in the playoffs this team can actually make a run. I think everyone sees him as like a 7th, 8th place. Like, okay, first, like, well, you go 0-2 in Swiss, whatever, you get
Yep.
eliminated. Like, I think they got a chance. Pai's been putting in time on that Jace. He's played. I think it's just probably his most played Summit champ this season, and
I'm
he
pretty
still
sure it
has the
is.
Zoe that you gotta ban. Like, Pai,
Yep.
and Murph and Tubby are a solid bot lane. They're not gonna win against like Rob and Dean in the bot lane, but like they can hold it.
Mhm.
I think this team's solid. I think I'd
Formidable.
want.
Also,
Yeah,
Savachka is like so mega underrated.
true.
You know, like I feel like
Is
a lot
Yeah.
solid
of people
too.
just shit on him because no one knows who he is. He's
Bro,
so
he got
underrated.
Talia all 3 games, by the way. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but
Well, this guy is like, I don't know. So here's some preseason lore before I got maxed onto Fraud Watch. Tubby was originally going to draft me to play ADC for this team, and Justice was going to be our top laner, Savachka jungle, and Danny mid. And we played a lot together, the 5 of us, before the season even started.
interesting.
And yeah, this Savachka guy, bro, his name is Brian. He's very, very good. He's also just really smart, which obviously makes for a good league player. And like he's scaling like crazy. You know, from the start of the season to now, when he was like picking Graves, and now he's playing stuff with a lot more utility, a lot more versatility, like Talia. I think
It's a
like
flex
his
pick
his
too.
ascent is been instrumental to their success, and honestly, will definitely make them a team to watch out for in playoffs. Any team with Pyrosis is honestly frightening. Another guy who's like Pyrosis.ai, he's kind of like a robot,
His
except he has a
mental is
lot more variance in his
unbreakable.
code.
His
Yeah,
mental
and
is
his game knowledge is just crazy.
Pai's mental is unbreakable. I have watched this man go 1-15 in a solo queue game and still win the game by just being like, "Oh, we still can win this." Bro's like 1-15, had like down 70 CS. And he's like, "We can win this," and then they
Yeah,
wins the solo queue game. Like
I
his
will I
mental is
will
almost unbreakable.
I will literally never forget when GYG played the Power of Friendship in playoffs, and Pyrosis was 0-6-0
We won the
on
game.
Talia. I just camped mid. Like me and Danny killed this guy over and over and over. Except
Doesn't
he had
matter.
like 11 CS a minute and like solo won the third Drake team fight. I
Yeah.
was like, this guy is just different.
Never count Pai out. Like even with Never Saw and Mid Too Easy, like high rank and even Nico, like higher mids that are higher ranked than him. I think Nico and him are around the same, but like I don't remember how they played against those two, but like I think Mid Too Easy, I think he got kind of clapped game 3, but like watching the fights game 3, like mid to easy was coming out of those exchanges with like less than 50 to 100 health, even though he was like 3-0 in the lane. So it's like that was I think Aurelia. Is it Aurelia
Oriana.
v Ori? I think yeah. So it's like this team's strong. Like I think people underestimate it, but I think this team is like with them being able to
They're
flex
scaling.
mid top. Like Dandy could play mid. Pipe I've seen him play top before. I don't think it's his greatest role, but he can. Like he could also play AD. Like Murph, I think used to play mid in
Yeah,
Summit.
I think low key, like the problem that they might face is eventually. I think some of these bot lanes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think like Murph off of Caitlyn looks is the in lane performance is hard. Obviously, Caitlyn's a very lane dominant champ, and he's performed really well on it, especially against just like really really good players. Like if you're playing like a 550 range ADC, like if you're gonna pick Kai'Sa, it's gonna be rough, because Tubby's champ pool is not stuff that synergizes well with the Kai'Sa. I mean, he went to the Leona in this series and didn't have a ton of success on it. Historically played the Caitlyn. Like if you're trying to play like Kai'Sa or these other 550 champs that need to fight 550 range, I mean, you need some support synergy. But I don't know. I mean, they're formidable. I don't know that they'll end up top 4.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I never bet against P-Rosis.
They're
high.
They're sitting at 7th, and my prediction is they're gonna probably stay 7th. So they're probably gonna play either Roblins Goblins or GKC most likely. But I think it's gonna be Roblins Goblins most likely.
That's a tough matchup for
them.
That's
a very tough matchup for them.
So yeah, that's just a prediction. So they actually might play Roblins Goblins and then have to play them again in the finals, or not in the finals, but in week 1 of playoffs. So
I mean, that could be good. Honestly, like the thing with Pyrosis is that he has a lot of free time, as far as I can tell, at least. So like giving this guy time to like watch your VODs and then prepare, that's scary. That's scary to me. Like you don't want to give him the prep time, and especially the recency.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. But we still have one more series to get through, so we're gonna quickly get through that one. It's gonna be a quick one. Firewatch versus the Academy.
It's gonna be a quick one.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let Josepi talk. I have a lot of problems with this series, but I don't want to share them right now.
Yeah, I don't know. So it wasn't that quick. It took you guys forever to end.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
Okay, here's my problem. We picked Poppy to play game 2 in the jungle, and they were like, "All right, what are we picking jungle with 3 seconds left on B4?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? I don't want to play this." They have 0 dash champions, locked in. I think, or sorry, they had Gnar.
Yep.
They had Gnar, but it's like
they didn't play Gnar game 1. They played. They had
two.
Vi, Ari. Oh, sorry, I don't have game 2 because it's.
Game 2. So game 2, we first picked Poppy, and then we decided, oh yeah, this is a great idea to put it top lane, or the initial plan was to put it jungle, but then but then Mid 2 Easy DC'd from the call, rejoined, and then was like, hey, what are we picking for jungle? And I was like, I didn't even get to say anything because it was 3 seconds left. So.
Well, I think the Kindred pick was actually really good, and picking Poppy early into our team is like that was by far the best way to draft us.
Yeah, game 1 was.
Obviously, it doesn't really matter because we could have the best draft on the planet and we would still lose. But yeah, picking Poppy was good. And then I think in game 1, so this is what like blew my mind. So Strand is like the same rank as me, and PPP and Fleas. PPP is like a little higher rank.
Oh,
but we're playing the lane bot.
Can I pause? Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Triple P picked an actual support this series. He picked.
I'll have a word with him about that.
Like I did not. They did play Callista though.
This guy has a goal
now. Didn't you guys play Ramus or something? And he played Callista.
Yeah.
This guy has a goal now. He's trying to beat Neversaw in the most diverse picks. So
Well, okay, I would say trying to beat Neversaw in a completely meaningless prize is an impossible endeavor. But
I'm pretty sure they're tied
good luck,
now.
PvP.
I'm pretty sure they're tied now. I think.
Wouldn't surprise me. Because Neversaw's
Yeah.
also played
But
it. I think
No,
she
he's played a lot of stuff.
But then
She
again,
played like 2 or
Neversaw
3
has more
unique systems.
games than Triple P though.
Damn, you guys are just that good. That's crazy. That you guys are just
We've
so dominant.
We've either 2-0'd or been 2-0'd. So sorry.
Well, yeah, Roblins, Goblins, and
Giuseppe, continue your
Yeah,
your
okay,
speech.
so we're like playing the bot lane, we get the level 2 advantage. We like push him off the wave, whatever, we slow push, third wave crash. And then like Noah just randomly roams. And so we're like freezing Strand off like 3 or 4 waves. Like we come out of lane, like 30 CS differential. We go to this Drake fight, Kog'Maw gets 4 kills, and we just lost the game. And I was like, what just happened? That was pretty rough. But yeah, honestly, like what's crazy to me about that gameplay is just the different styles in Summit. Like the fact that you can leave Strand under the tower getting no XP for like 3 straight minutes and just absolutely piss roll the game because you're perma invading our jungle with Kindred. Great strategy, honestly. Shout out to Strand for being willing to undergo the weak side treatment.
The Colin effect.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest. There was 2 weak sides, and then there was just strong side jungle.
No, seriously. And when you have such a strong mid jungle duo, like when you're picking Lissandra and your Lissandra is pushing early and your Leona is pretty much willing to, roam at the expense of your ADC, your Kindred is just ultra enabled. And obviously Kindred into Vi early is very Kindred favored, especially if you have laner support. And I think what our mistake was in my Emerald assessment, we just overcommitted to defending camps. We just needed to split the map. Our level 1 probably should have been to get vision. We had the Blitzcrank so we could threaten the invade. We probably should have warded like a Raptor camp and then just split the map. Because Kindred invading is like kind of a cliche.
Did you guys invade, by the way, level 1?
Yeah, I think we went top. I don't really remember though.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I think we did, and maybe we missed the hook. I'm not sure.
No, we were bot side Tribush, but we never saw you guys. Or sorry, no.
Yeah, I think we went top.
Yeah, you guys must have went top because we actually went through bot lane and invaded you guys actually in the bot side.
That's tech. Yeah. And then game 2, what happened in game 2 of the series? Oh yeah, dude, Callista's support is freaking broken. That shit is OP, bro.
Bro, dude, I don't think you understand. The comms was like, all right, Steven, you can be aggro here. Be aggro. I have R. I can pull you out. And then Steven just goes way too deep, and PvP had to flash R him out of the fight. He had to flash.
I mean, it worked. Honestly, like it did work. It was pretty effective, and honestly, like playing against it in lane, I just heavily underestimated Hail of Blades damage. But yeah, playing against like Varus Callista as what was I playing? Jinx? Some scaling champion. Oh, I was playing Smolder.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I was
Smolder,
like
sorry. Yeah.
3-1. Did not matter. Yeah, I ended the game 4-2-4. But I just spent like the entire early game under tower, so it took me forever to stack.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like when we're playing a scaling comp, that's pretty bad. Because yeah, I just wasn't able to stack. And obviously, like mid 2 easy, that guy is just like omnipotent. Like the force that he exerts on the map is really nauseating to play against as like a random Emerald player.
Mm-hmm.
And Xscope, bro, unbeatable in the top lane.
Dude, don't pick Poppy ever again, dude. This champ sucks. It's so boring. I don't know how Brissy does it.
That's because Brissy's just kind of built different.
He is built different. Listen, if I'm playing Poppy in the jungle, I feel way more confident. But Poppy in the top lane, dude, this champion, I just don't understand it. But
somebody else played Poppy and was playing really well. I forgot.
Gawr actually played it in.
Yeah, that was Gawr had some insane like flash Poppy ease. I think they won. That's the game they won. Like his Poppy was going crazy.
But
yeah, that guy's nice.
We are actually running out of time, so we're gonna run through predictions real quick. here are your predictions. So, I mean, as you can see, everyone picked the same exact thing. So we'll just go over the games.
Just like to point out that X-Ray did have Crayola consumers over Elend's Entourage.
I did have
before
Crayola
he
consumers.
before he changed. I just want to point that out.
This-
So all the real Elend's Entourage fans rise up, like
I was
big
so
fans.
I think that one's actually the closest series. I honestly think CC might win it, but I was like very hesitant, so I changed it last second because I saw everyone else's. I just wanted to be like everyone else, pretty much. So
Yeah, he
but
wanted to ace me out and not let me catch up to second place.
you literally cannot unless you change 3 of your picks and get them all correct.
It's such an anticlimactic week because all of these are so one-sided series. Not super one-sided, but like
Some of them
3
are.
or 4 of them are like very much like, okay, there's
Yeah.
one team that's expected to roll, like no, like Joe,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you should have
Beaver
picked
Brigade
Fraud Watch, Patrick. Idiot.
Hey,
So
hey, I'll pick you guys next year.
I mean,
We can
Yeah,
run
bro.
it back.
I'm not playing again, bro. No, I'm done, bro.
Full-time content team. It's more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Talk
I mean-
that shit. Nobody
Oh.
can talk shit about your gameplay. Say I'm playing RuneScape. I ain't even playing League.
Dude, you know what I realized? We never talked about Asteria subbing in. That guy popped
Yeah, we
up.
did.
I thought he told me
I
he was
mentioned
gonna
it.
quit Summit, but he's back. Yeah,
He's
Shout
back.
out
Well,
Asteria.
he did quit some of it technically. He's not playing this season, but
he
No, he
just
played
subbed.
well.
He just
Yeah.
subbed. So
which is fair.
but just to go through the games, the Academy versus TKT, everyone picked the Academy.
I hope TKT wins that. That would be so funny.
They have a
Bro,
chance, bro.
That's not funny. Beaver
It'd be
Brigade
so good.
Beaver Brigade versus Fraud Watch. Beaver Brigade going all the way across. Roblins Goblins versus the Bendables. Roblins Goblins. Elend's Entourage versus CC. This one I think is going to be game of the week because this might because I think both of these teams are actually tied.
I think they are too.
I think they're both tied at 15 points.
Yeah, they're both tied for 4th place at 15.
Yeah, so this could determine seeding. Really big point for them. And then finally, Gawr's kindergarten class versus SMD. Everyone picked Gawr's kindergarten class. So, I just realized Beaver Brigade and Fraud Watch have already played. So, Beaver.
Who won? Who
Who
won?
won, bro? Hey, okay. I don't know, man. I tried my best,
It's
bro.
okay.
As I
Enjoy-
look in the camera,
okay. You played okay.
we don't know who won.
You played pretty good.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know who
I just said
won.
this guy, or
Can I go on my
Joe.
Fraud Watch monologue now? It'll be short.
You know
Oh
what?
yeah,
You know what?
I want to hear it.
I'll make it quick.
You got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Race, go.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I just want to say I think obviously this team is one of the worst Summit teams ever. However, we absolutely shit on every other 10th place Summit team across the seasons, except maybe DPT. So we're not
We
the
were
worst
not
team ever.
10th. We were 9th. We were
Okay,
not
9th,
10th.
whatever.
Don't-
Who was 10th?
hey.
Gabe's team.
Yeah, don't put no
Hey,
disrespect on DPT.
This is my monologue.
Continue.
And I think the 5 players that went through this process of being on the quote unquote for fun team, obviously, you don't get asked, you get drafted. It's how the league works, and it's what you sign up for, right? But all 5 of us, we kept the mental. And I think every player on Fraud Watch, if they sign up again for next season, is a high value draft pick. They went through coaching. We played so many scrims, even though we lost every Summit game. You probably couldn't tell. We got a lot better, and I think every single player has really, really strong mental and super strong performance for their rank value. However, when you put 5 role players on a team, you're just not going to win because someone has to carry, someone has to shot call, and so we lost every series. 1 in 18, baby. That's it. That's the monologue.
Sorry.
Special shout out to Yahuzi too. That guy
Yeah.
is new to the server and got put through hell. And he stuck around.
Owen, RP3, Dunk, Injustice. Damn, bro. Like,
And he got camped like literally every series.
bro,
honestly.
I wouldn't. I'm retiring if that happens to me. If I have to play against, I feel like if I played mid this season, having to go against every single Diamond Masters fucking GM mid laner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, especially if you're playing like tanks top and you have to rely on Like, this guy's relying on me to carry the game. Like, I feel so bad for him. Yeah.
Well,
I do want to shout out. I know we're almost up, but I just do want to shout out Fraudwatch. Like, as much shit as everybody gave them all the season, they were in not all of the games. They were in a decent amount of the games. Like, they may have gone 1-18 in games, but like there was definitely winnable games in those, like in that. So I just want to shout out.
We didn't lose in
Fraudwatch.
25 minutes every time. That's
Same with Krusty Trap. I think same thing with them. Like, it's hard with low ranked solo lanes with the solo lane Summit has, but Silva, Garrett played well. I think Godspeed and Space Walrus, I think was their top.
Yeah.
I think for having to play against a Diamond Plus player almost every single series, I think they held their own in a decent amount. OT Gator tried his best when your solo lanes were losing it is difficult.
Yeah.
So shout out to them too. I think
I
they
mean,
played. They were in a lot of games.
4 points. 4 points is points. So they got some.
Yeah.
They got a couple wins. So,
Yeah.
but we are going to wrap up this episode of The Climb. This is the last regular season podcast or episode of The Climb. So be ready next week, or sorry, 2 weeks after the regular season. We'll have a episode 9. I lied. We're gonna have an episode 9 for post regular season. But don't worry, we'll be back in playoffs, so be ready for that. Thank you, Josepi Hack, for joining us this week on The Climb. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Shout out Flea, shout out Donnie, shout out Barry, shout out Chris, Yahuzi.
All right.
Shout
We
out.
got the shout
out
outs.
the gang.
Got to just shout out the game.
Shout out Colin.
They're all just...
Shout out John. Shout out Butts. Shout out Ray.
Shout out Ryan and John, best RS, best old school Iron Man group in the game.
Hey, shout out DV4 VP15. Shout out Cisco.
Okay.
Shout out Sheen. Shout out.
We're done shouting out people.
Shout out X-Ray.
Hang on. All right, let's go. X-Go.
X-Go.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Venom, for joining us this week. And I'm X-Ray, and we will see you on the next episode of The Climb.